Within needs analysis, the main question to be asked is who is going to be the target population? I mean, who are the people to be studied for a specific needs analysis for a language curriculum design? So obviously needs, the target population refers to the people about whom specific information will be collected and then analyzed. Okay. So there are some other stakeholders involved in needs analysis. So we're going to look at the issue of target population. What are different variables attached to this target population? So let's have a look at typically, for example, in Pakistan, where English is generally seen as a foreign language. Okay, so the target population, if we want to conduct a needs analysis, the target population going to be obviously the policymakers, the curriculum planners, or the designers, and then the officials from education ministry, and then we've got obviously the students, teachers, academics, and the administration, and then we've got employers as well, who are going to employ people for jobs, for example. Okay, and obviously the role of parents is important too in needs analysis, and we also need to take into account the views of parents about language learning. And there are some community agencies which are primarily involved in designing a language program. So they give funding for the language program, and then these are actually key typical population people. For example, we've got some officials from the ministry, and then we've got students, teachers, and parents. So it's important to target these variables for an efficient needs analysis, right? And we've got three categories of the target population. The first one could be the students who are studying a program. Okay, so it's important to understand their general perceptions or experiences about language learning in a specific program. Okay. Secondly, we've got some students who were previously enrolled, but they are no longer attending the program. The reason why we need this second category is that it's important to understand what happened in the past and what were their experiences, so we could make decisions about an efficient curriculum design. And then we've got, some the third category, which is the people who never studied foreign language, for this matter, English. Okay, so we need to take into account these different three categories. For example, the students currently studying a program, or who previously studied but no longer attending the program. And then we've got, the students who have never been the target population of our program. So this is important to see which, not to ignore any of the categories while targeting a specific population, right? We've got, the sampling issue within the target population. Okay, you might be wondering, what means by the sampling. We will take a greater look at this issue in our subsequent sessions. But let's first see the difference between the small and the large population. The small population is, I think you you might imagine it might be an experience of a language teacher on daily basis. For example, a teacher going to the classroom will be meeting a group of learners. Okay? That's a small population, and it's easy to study every individual student. And in the case of large population, we need to ensure some important decisions about the size of the sample, how big gonna be the sample, for example, right? Okay, and in order to decide the element of sampling, we need to make sure whether the sample is big enough to be representative, right? The element of representativeness is very important here. Okay? Obviously, if the target population is, for example, 30 students, it could be very easy to study each individual student. But in the context of bigger population, we need to make decisions. For example, if the number of students are 1,000, we need to be sure about which techniques to be used. For example, whether to use random sampling or non-random sampling. Okay, so the whole point here is just not to lose the spirit of representativeness. I mean, to choose the types which represent certain issues related to language learning. Okay, and I think we need Ali makes a very important point here when we talk about various factors which influencing the sampling approach. Okay, so these factors revolve around the skills, attitudes, or the general proficiency, language proficiency of the students. And then we need to think about the gender. I mean, whether the target population going to be mixed gender, both male or female, or the combination of both. And then the language group, which group? Okay? It could be, for example, Punjabi students, and it could be Sindhi or Balochi student. So we need to be sure about these factors while making decision about sampling approach. So overall, what this target population, the topic target population suggests is we need to make key decisions which target population be included for a specific language program. And for that matter, if we need a specialized advice, we can resort to this element as well.